Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and we finally got an official announcement of when the next World of Warcraft expansion, The War Within, is officially launching. With this, we also got announcement for when the Season 1 content is going to be made available, but also a better idea of when the pre-patch for War Within is likely to arrive. This means every one of you that's planning to make a return for the War Within expansion and the World Soul Saga, now you have a bit of a better idea of when might be a good time for you to come back. Whether it is to level brand new characters during the WoW Mists of Pandaria remix, or to prepare your existing alts with a handful of item levels during the pre-patch event. For today's video, I want to do an entire in-depth overview of all the release dates that have been announced so far, and all the different expansion features that you may be able to expect during all of the different phases of the War Within launch release. But right before that, if you guys enjoy all the regular updates for the War Within beta and the launch cycle, be sure to follow the channel. Otherwise, let's dive right in. So with the announcement, we finally have some actual official dates to take a look at in terms of what will be available and when. Right now, we are currently in the beta testing period, which is limited to players that got into the beta either by purchasing the Epic Edition upgrade for War Within or through a random invite, which happens in waves every single week, and more people are going to continue being invited into the beta over the next few weeks. Beta offers an opportunity for players to test the expansion early, as well as give feedback on some of its features, and offers an opportunity for players to make impactful changes and decisions within the future of the expansion and how things play out. And the beta is going to run all the way until the release of the next expansion. With us finally getting some actual dates for the release as well as the early access of the War Within, we now have a better idea of when the pre-patch may end up dropping. Normally, under most conditions, the pre-patch is usually available a week before the official launch of the new expansion. That means under normal circumstances, the pre-patch would actually drop sometime during late July. However, based on the roadmap that we have for the year 2024, the pre-patch may actually end up dropping sooner than expected. But it seems like that they're getting a separate PTR build ready just for the pre-patch alone, likely to test out some of the open world content and some of the new features that will be available for a limited time before the War Within launch. So we should hopefully have an official date on when that pre-patch is dropping, but I would expect it sometime either at the end of June or July. Part of the pre-patch is going to offer a huge portion of the War Within's major features, such as a new world event where we end up taking up defense for the city of Dalaran. This will include a recolor of some of the existing transmogs for the Dalaran Defender. There's going to be a version of these for plate classes, a cloth version, a version for the mail classes, as well as a version for leather. As part of the pre-patch, we'll also get access to the War Band system, which is going to include a brand new login screen for some of your favorite characters, which are going to be set up around a fire, and you can interact with every single one of these characters and get a bit of a preview as to what these characters' class and spec is going to be, their current location, their current realm, and what professions they're currently spec'd into. As part of the other additions for the Warband system, which is kind of known as an account-wide everything system, characters will be able to add items into the transmog collection even if they can't wear it. This is a question that I actually heard a lot, but the account-wide everything doesn't mean that rogues will be able to wear plate gear or mail gear or cloth gear. It just means that if you, let's say you're running an old raid and you get a plate item or a mail item or a cloth item, but you play on a rogue, and even if your rogue can't wear those items, they'll still be able to add to those collections, so then your Death Knight can use the plates, your priest can use the cloths, and your evoker can use the mail gear as part of the transmog collection. Another benefit of this account-wide everything system is the ability to transfer currency across characters. So, for example, if you want to stock up all of your Charm War badges on one character, you can take them all from all of your other alts onto this character, which makes alt management that much easier in the next expansion. And you can even do this for some of the more obscure currencies of older expansions, such as the Honor-Bound Service Medal of Battle for Azeroth, and even certain currencies of Legion. And they're likely to add additional currencies from even older expansions in the future as they expand on the War-Bound system. The War-Bound system also works for things such as reputations, where you'll be able to have all of these reputations be War-Bound instead of character-bound. And progress towards achievements can also be done across multiple characters, not just on one character, to finish out fully. As seen in the beta, just about every single mount now has the ability to dragon ride, or what they're referring to in this expansion as sky riding, where just about every single flying mount and even druid flight forms all gain the ability to utilize all of the dragon riding or sky riding benefits. And the skywriting talent tree gets moved into the mount category, where you can now access all of your skills and abilities and customize your mount a little bit easier. Or if you prefer to not utilize the skywriting system, you can always switch to flight styles in order to go back to the original flying style, which does take a short cast bar, but will then make all the mounts usable like they always have been. This applies also for all the original dragon riding mounts from the expansion of Dragonflight. Besides this, pre-patch will also bring with it leveling changes, where Dragonflight becomes just another expansion when it comes to overall leveling experience that be accessed through Chromie time. The hero class of the Evoker, however, will be kind of downgraded to be a little bit more even with Death Knights and Demon Hunters, where Evokers, just like every other class, will now start out at level 10. For the pre-patch, you also will be able to experience a myriad of different class changes, from all of the different talent revamps to class talents, as well as the spec talents, though for pre-patch you will not be able to experience hero talents just yet, as you start unlocking these at level 71. Lastly, you also will be able to experience a lot of the UI elements, such as a brand new rework to the spellbook, which even allows you to hide passives, and if you need to search for certain abilities, you'll be able to find them much easier using the search function. Besides this, in the UI, you'll also notice that certain quests will now have a different marker and a different icon around it, so you'll be able to tell what's a daily quest, what's a main story quest, and what's a side quest. On August 27th, we'll get the early access for the War Within. This means everybody that purchased the Epic Edition of War Within will be able to play the expansion a couple of days early. During that time, there will be, however, some limitations. During the early access, you will be able to level a character all the way to max level and experience the entire story of War Within. Though certain endgame content, such as Mythic Zero dungeons and even to some extent heroic dungeons, will not be accessible. This early access period is there as a benefit for players, but it's not meant to give them an unfair advantage in terms of their gear progression. So even if you don't get the Epic Edition for yourself, at least you won't have to worry that you'll be outgeared by everybody else by the time the expansion launches. The actual expansion launch of the War Within is officially on August 26th at 3 PM Pacific Standard Time. As part of the expansion, you'll be able to experience some of its major features, such as being able to level through the 4 new zones of Kaz Algar. As you level, you'll also be able to discover and explore how hero talents will impact and affect your gameplay. And you'll be able to participate in more instance content such as the Delves, which is another form of endgame progression for open world players. But also we have more standard instance content such as a new raid and plenty of new dungeons. As you level through and experience the storyline of the War Within, eventually you'll unlock access to the new allied race of the Earthern, which are Titan-forged dwarves that come with their own passive and active racial abilities, as well as their own unique heritage armor sets and mounts. And also, as part of the expansion, as you level through it, you'll be able to experience additional profession updates. Season 1 of War Within will officially launch on September the 10th, which means that a new Nerubian raid is now finally open for raiding. We'll also get new seasonal content such as Season 1 of Mythic Plus, as well as Season 1 launch of PvP content, together with their unique rewards such as Keystone Mount, Keystone Hero, as well as all of the different rating achievements for PvP, such as Duelist and Gladiator rewards. But another form of endgame progression in the form of Delves will also have their own seasonal content. Through the Delves, you will be able to earn your own airship and you'll be able to customize it with a variety of different parts. As part of the Delves, you also will be able to get some endgame gear as well as cosmetics. Everything from various hats, back pieces, but also actual endgame gear progression inside of the Great Vault. And with that, that's gonna mark everything that we have for now when it comes to all of the different dates and all of the different content that will be available at all of these intervals for the War Within expansion. For any of you that are not playing the game currently but are planning to make a return for the War Within, I would at the very least come back during the pre-patch event, as during the pre-patch event is probably the best time for you to catch up on some early gear that will make your leveling experience in the next expansion a little bit easier, while also giving you an opportunity to earn some of the more unique rewards that will be available only during the pre-patch event. However, if you plan to play multiple alts for the next expansion, you may want to even come back sooner using the WoW Remix Mists of Pandaria mode, which offers incredibly fast leveling speeds, especially if you're looking to potentially play multiple characters in the next expansion. But with that, that's going to cover our entire array of the War Within release dates overview. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.